I guess right around the time of being discovered and starting to really audition, that's when you start experimenting with, I guess, marijuana and alcohol.
Well, it was during the Bronx Tale. It was during the
Okay.
Bronx Tale when that happened.
Okay, so you started with weed and alcohol, which, well, with a 15-year-old, that could really have some serious effects.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, but then you started progressing. Okay, so what happened next after weed and alcohol?
Weed and alcohol. Then I started dabbling in the ecstasy was big in the '90s, and the hallucinogenics and some mushrooms, some acid. But then I discovered cocaine, and that's when my life took a turn for the worse. That's when it was like flipped upside down, and
Okay, so when did the cocaine use start?
I would say about 93, 94.
Okay, so right after Bronx Tale was released.
Yeah, I would say maybe about 6 to 8 months later.
Okay, and you had money at this point, so you could actually buy cocaine.
Right, money and free time.
Right.
And a lot of times I didn't even have to buy it because I was who I was. People just want to give it to you. You're out there, you're a kid with no experience out there doing drugs with women and going out every night of the week. And it was a recipe for disaster. And that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so when you're doing Renaissance Man and Crimson Tide and all that, you were already doing cocaine at that point.
Yes.
Okay.
Not so much
Was it
Renaissance, man. I mean, I had tried it by then, but by Crimson Tide, I was like doing it on the weekends.
okay? And was it affecting your work at all?
At that point, no. At that point, no.
Okay, but it started to escalate.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, because I mean, I'm looking at the filmography. I mean, Enemy of the State came out. I mean, Crimson Tide was 95. Enemy of the State was 98. By that time, were you heavy into it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and you started doing heroin at one point also.
Yeah, well, the heroin, it started with narcotic pain medication, the pills, because my cocaine addiction had spiraled out of control. I started experiencing, the cocaine psychosis, where you become very paranoid and you think people are out to get you and all kinds of people are in the walls. There's raccoons in the walls, like really insane stuff. And one night I was in a car with like four of my friends and I was so high on coke that my mind started playing tricks on me. And I was thinking that the kids in the car wanted to kill me. But meanwhile, these are guys that I knew my whole life. So I got so scared that we were doing about 60 miles an hour. I just opened the door, the back door. I was in the back seat and I just jumped out. Scar right here. Still from that. And that's when I was introduced to the narcotic pain medication given to me by the hospital. They're giving things, my head was really bad. And I have a very addictive personality by nature. So I was taking one, and the one was like, it helped in the beginning, but then it just, I mean, I guess you build up a tolerance. One didn't work. And the way I am was instead of saying, let me take two, I went and took three. And then when I took the three, I was like, wow, this feels great. I remember smoking cigarettes at the time, and I just used to smoke my cigarettes and take these pills because I didn't really think anything of it. These are pills prescribed by the doctor, so how bad could they really be? And then I came to find out that these pills had the same ingredient as heroin. It was an opiate. And then I was taking them every single day. And then times when I didn't have them, I couldn't fall asleep. And I realized, like, this is a problem. This is a problem. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And then I was taking 20 pills at a time, probably twice a day, 40 pills. And then I started snorting heroin. And then I was smoking crack. And then, I had a girlfriend at the time. She left me because she was going to be taking the MCATs to go to medical school. She didn't have room in her life for me anymore. So every time I would go by the house, she would call the cops. So I figured I'd find a loophole, and I became friends with her father.
Right, and I want to get to that story, that
Sure.
part of the story. But I just want to cover a couple more things here. So, I mean, you jumped out of a moving car at 60 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I can just imagine your friends seeing this and just saying what the fuck. Like,
Yeah, I had been drinking all day, and if I wasn't, I probably would have died. Because I guess I was so drunk that I just went with the fall. That if I wasn't, maybe I would have just, my neck would have been so stiff and I would have just broke my neck and, probably not been here right now.